This week, we finally start cruising in the British Virgin Islands. We visit some of the more popular spots, get some snorkeling in, bear witness to a lot of charter nonsense, then get down to business and do a permanent install of Starlink. We then head up to North Sound and get some really fresh fish. We visit some of the popular spots, and then we wrap it all up by acting like teenagers.
'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. Oh.
After our 6-day passage arriving in the Virgin Islands, we checked into the same place that was our first stop on our first catamaran trip 10 years ago. We did a week's cruising around Tortola and seeing the sights. We had never been sailing like this before, and we loved it. Our kids were a lot smaller back then. Our first stop was the Bight on Norman Island and a visit to the world-famous Willy T's. In the BVIs, we learned we would be seeing a lot of non-traditional boating. For example, don't run your dinghy engine to keep it tight to the dock. We decided to head out and start exploring up the chain of islands from here. All right, we just left Norman's. We're headed north to go to the next anchorage. It's a whopping 2 nautical miles. So sailing here is interesting and different. There is a lot of charter boat traffic and everything is really close. So in the Bahamas, you go to these different places. Here, everything's within 50 miles. So you can see everybody on radar pretty much, and AIS. I don't know. Everything is a hop, just a quick 2-mile hop. And it's just all around here. So a different kind of sailing. It's fun. This is Cooper Island. Beautiful anchorage, great restaurant, and a pretty decent snorkel spot at the west end of it. See that guy? He was causing trouble with everybody. Remember the troublemaker from earlier? Not sure if this is the same one, but same attitude. After snorkeling, we got back to the boat and all seemed great. The mooring field was peaceful, but as we crept closer to sunset, we witnessed some true nonsense. Several boats came in looking for mooring balls, and of course there were none. This is BVI, don't roll in as the sun's setting. As the sun set, more boats came in, and it devolved into a little chaos. Now they were roaming around in the dark. There were even several attempts to anchor in the middle of the mooring field. Please don't do this, it's dangerous to everybody. Eventually these boats moved on, but there were a lot of irritated folks in the field. The next morning turned out to be nice and calm, so it was time to do a boat project that we'd put off since Norfolk. So I've got 2 boat projects today. One is to get this data hub connected to the boat network so it can collect data about the boat and be able to relay it over the internet for different things like our tracking page on predict wind, but also to generate custom polars based on how we sail and how we use the boat, which will help us with predicting how long it'll take to get to different places. We can also monitor different things on the boat remotely, whether we're here or not. To get that to work, we need internet. we have internet, we have Starlink, but we have it kind of semi-installed. We have the dish mounted outside, and that's almost permanent.
Hello.
But we need to drill a hole in the boat right here, and then snake the cable from that hole all the way up here to the living room. And then across the ceiling here. Then come through here and go to there. And then end up in a nice place with power. So that's a plan for today. We'll see if it works at all.
I can hear it. It's coming.
Okay, stop. We didn't even need to vacuum. I got the string. All right, so pull back a little bit. Okay, stop. All right. All right. All right. Hey. Here we got it.
We're getting ready to go though. These two boats, yeah. Well, I was.
So that's it for boat projects today. We're gonna eat some lunch and then get out of this crazy anchorage and go somewhere where it's a lot less chaotic. So we're just now leaving Cooper Island. Neat place, chaotic anchorage. I don't know if it's like this all the time, but there are just boats hovering, people trying to anchor in the middle of it. It's chaos. So have a strong stomach if you're gonna come here and get a ball early. We moored at Leverett Bay, and while we were having a beer, we noticed some of the restaurant staff meeting a small fishing boat at the dock. These guys brought in some very fresh Wahoo for the restaurant. We weren't really planning on eating out that night, but how can you pass that up? Can you come here and give me a hug?
No,
Just give me a little hug. Maybe you should ride on their dinghy.
Maybe you should shut it.
The next day, we took a cab ride up the mountain to a restaurant called Hog Heaven. It did not disappoint. After a couple of days at Leverett, we moved across the bay to the area near the Bitter End and Saba Rock. Two places wiped out by a hurricane, but they're fully rebuilt now. In the anchorage, this guy came by and convinced us we should try efoiling. So Shane, William, and I decided to give it a go.
A little snug.
You start off riding on your belly and understanding how the throttle works. Pretty easy. Then you work on getting up on your knees. After that, it's learning to stand up. And then foiling and falling. Eventually, we all got the hang of it and had a good time riding around, until the batteries were about to run out. That's when it got really fun. We got to lay on our stomachs and crank the power up. It was fast and fun. What a great way to wrap it up. So that's it. There's plenty more that we'll show next week as we continue to explore the BVI. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram to see what we're up to in real time, and we'll catch up with you again next week.